Hi YouTube. I have not done this in a long time. So here I am doing this. I think there's a way that I can use this for Twitter, and I am going to. Hang on real quick. See if I can do it. Oh no. Real quick. Share. Because I want this to go through to everybody. Okay, there we go. Sorry, you guys probably saw it blank out for a bit. Yeah, okay. So anyway, so I just did a video on my Twitter, and I decided to bring one on here because I have not done either in a long time. I worded it differently than I did on my Twitter, but if you hear any vibrating, my phone's going off, so I'm sorry. I will actually put this on silent so y'all don't have to hear it. There we go. Okay, so I said I wanted to talk about depression and anxiety because, granted, yes, it's being talked about. Yes, my Batman hoodie. It's being talked about more, which is great. There are a lot of people that are stepping up to the plate, wanting to help others and let them know that they are in a safe place. They have people to talk to, and everything else. So, that's always great. I definitely encourage that with others. I try to do it myself. Um, I can say that even though I haven't been diagnosed by a doctor, that I recognize the symptoms in a sense and became more understanding with it as I got older. So I would probably say I've been dealing with it since about 4 or 5, just because I knew the difference between being sad and feeling a certain way for several days. Um, my feet are on a bouncy ball, so like a little exercise ball. See, just chilling. Um, trying to be comfortable. And as I said before, my other live videos, I'm trying to keep as real with you guys as possible. Don't really want to do the whole editing Shazam stuff unless I'm actually needing to edit stuff. But yeah, so people that don't really deal with depression, I guess you can say, they don't really have a full understanding of what it is what somebody goes through. And at the same time, what a lot of people don't understand that I've always known is that everybody's different. Everybody deals with it differently. There's not just one type of depression. There's not one type of anxiety. There's so many out there. You just don't know what you're going to encounter. And at the same time, it's not always, exactly. Now, I mean, like, I'm not going to sound like I'm some doctor and I know everything, so don't quote me on this stuff. A lot of it's not so much of that we're born with it, it's the fact that maybe we come across it after time. So, like, the whole depression thing for me, I've always known and felt since I was a kid. Anxiety, I've never really dealt with until one incident where two friends of mine got into a car accident in front of my high school, whatever, and I saw ambulance come out, and that word that freaked me out. And I was already having a bad day that day, so having those two mix was not a good combo. So after a while, I dealt with the anxiety after having twins. And I feel like part of that was from having RLS, which is restless leg syndrome. The fact that it's your legs that mostly feel anxious. Like you have to, like if you're sitting down, you gotta move your feet, whatever. You have to get up and walk. You have to shake your legs, do something, put some kind of movement in them. And in a way, that's how I feel like anxiety is. And just doing that, having to deal with RLS made me feel that's a plant behind me, by the way. It made me not so much made me feel some kind of way, but dealing with RLS did end up bringing a lot of anxiety out of me. It made me feel very anxious about stuff. Like I had to get up and doing something. I had to move around. Like, oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do with this feeling in my life? I don't like the feeling. Blah blah blah. Just a whole bunch of stuff that just wasn't. I didn't really care for it. I didn't like it. you know. And I mean, nobody likes being extremely anxious and worked up about stuff. Same thing with depression. Nobody really likes that stuff. It's not fun at all. But, you know, a lot of people don't really understand. And I say we because, again, even though I may not be, um, I may not be medically diagnosed with it, doesn't mean I don't know what I'm talking about. Just because, you know, mine may come and go every now and then, it doesn't mean I don't know what I'm talking about. Again, it's just one of those things where it's completely different for everybody. Everybody deals with it so differently. It's like grieving in a way. Just to use as an example, um, it is like grieving to the point where, um, like, you know, not everybody cries right away at funerals. Not everybody cries, you know, when they, you know, get the sad news. Like, I'm not trying to mimic anybody, but, like, you know, go to the hospital and they're like, I'm sorry, you know, such and such just passed away, they didn't make it, and all that like, you know, not everybody does that right away. Everybody handles it and deals with it differently. Sometimes maybe that, like, the best way I can describe it is, I used to be a huge fan of Glee when it came out. At first I was just like, oh, this seems kind of crazy, seems kind of dumb. But one of my exes, he was into it. So me, him, and his best friend, we would all sit and watch it when it came on. And I was like, okay, I actually like this show. So one of the actual characters, I forget his name, but his actual name, but he played Finn in the show, died in real life. And, you know, that kind of just, that broke everybody. And so, you know, they did a special tribute episode to him, and his jacket hat went missing. His Letterman's jacket went missing, and everybody was trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Blah blah blah. And it turned out that the chorus director, Mr. Schuster, ended up having it at the very end of the episode. So you see him by himself in his apartment, crying his eyes out over that jacket because he had a special bond, he had a special connection with them, and, you know, he was everybody's rock and trying to support them and help them. And a lot of people, I feel like, with depression, we deal with that. We end up being somebody else's rock, or somebody's, not so much provider, but like emotional support provider. And we become their support and everything that is that they need, but we don't have anybody for that. Because everybody's quick to just leave and be like, oh, well, yours doesn't matter, or it doesn't mean anything. That's nothing. You'll get over it. No, we won't get over it as easily. Um, the fact that it could be like the smallest thing that we can get depressed over, and, like, for example, being happy. That may be like the littlest thing. And everybody's like, oh, well, only you can create your happiness, blah, 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 blah. Right. We all get that. We all know that. But it's hard to do that when you are placed in an environment that tells you all these things that don't make you happy. Another example with me, I am full-on black, African American, you know, um, but in a sense, I am not the typical or stereotype African American. Usually everybody's like, oh, well, aren't you like urban or hood, and don't you listen to trap music and this kind of music, and aren't you supposed to dress like this, blah 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 blah. As first you can see, Final Fantasy is on my beanie. That's technically says I'm a gamer, whatever. I like Final Fantasy. Even if I don't play the games, I love the characters. I love it. But I like the whole punk rock look. I like the whole punk rock feel. So even without the braids, I just have hair right here. I had a mohawk going all the way back. You know, I grew up with having long hair. Like, my hair used to be down here in elementary school. Then got older, it just gradually got shorter. But I've always had it to, like, here on my shoulders. I always had shoulder length. So, you know, like, I've always enjoyed it like that. But I'm putting this back on because my head's cold. But, I mean, It's just, stuff like that can put me in depression. Like, I can be mad and offended and sad by it, and then afterwards I get depressed by it because I feel like I am not good enough. We talk about how you should be yourself and this, that, and the other, and yet the moment, in a way, people that are like me, we tend to be ourselves and really express what we like or whatever, we're so quick to get bashed for it, and it sucks. And it's just like, so we're supposed to be okay with what you're doing, but you can't be okay with what I'm doing, what I like that's not fair, you know and it's a hard one of those hard pills to swallow sometimes, because it's, how do you respond to that, how do you react to that? So it's kind of crazy. um Even down to it, that can lead to, I feel and I believe can lead to, um of course, anxiety. It can be self-esteem issues, how you view yourself. You don't think you're pretty enough or sexy enough or fun to be around. You think you're annoying, and blah 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 blah. Like, I feel those all the time, but we have to figure out how to change that. And sometimes it might be taking a step back from everybody and putting ourselves in a different limelight, different area. Um, Even if it's, I think I mentioned it before in here, just, I think it was Twitter, but I'll mention it again either way. It's like with me, I said that I wanted to have this whole bucket list thing for the whole year that I'm 29, to where almost every day, or at least every week, I'm accomplishing something new. Every month, I'm definitely accomplishing something new. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll step out of my comfort zone and I'll start trying to tweet these celebrities more that I would love to meet and get to know. I guess not so much like on a best buddy level. I mean, if I get that opportunity, that would totally be great. But I want to be able to put myself out there more and be out of my comfort zone. Well, I've stepped out of my comfort zone a few times, and now I'm going back inward because it's just like, okay, I took this big leap. Oh my gosh, what do I do? It's like it's like when you watch Tangled. She got out of the castle and she was all excited. She's like, "This is amazing!" And she's swinging around in her hair, and then she freaks out and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a bad daughter. Mom's gonna hate me." Blah 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 blah. She's going back and forth with herself, and that's what we do with our depression in a sense. We're back and forth, back and forth. We do things that make us happy, and then once we realize the things that make us happy happen, we get drawn back in because of something somebody said or something somebody did, or we're worried about how people view us, or we might not have the money to do this, and blah 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 blah. Like, I do that a lot. I can go and buy myself something. Like this year I have birthday money, and I was told, do not spend on any food for your babies. Don't spend it on your babies. Actually treat yourself to something, because I don't ever do that. So I did. I treated myself to stuff, bought myself some stuff. Not exactly what I wanted, but I got, what, in a sense, what I wanted to have. And then I regretted those decisions right after. Like, I never should have spent this money. I should have used it for this. I should have used it for that. But it's just like, I don't ever get to treat myself to anything. And we can't be like that. But in a sense, for me to actually sit here and do my live video on Twitter, my live video on here, I'm not sure where else I'm going to do it, but here's my motivation. You ready? This is my backyard. It may not look like much, but that tree right over there, the beautiful golden tree, is so beautiful. The way the sun is hitting the room and the way it was shining earlier, like, it's so pretty. I'm not going to go any further because my kids have made a mess in here. But it's a beautiful view to look at. Like, there's not much to look at behind me. But, just being out here, enjoying the sunshine, it's making me think. It's making me feel at ease. I'm practically home all day, every day, 24/7. And, like, tomorrow, cousin of mine is getting married. I'm supposed to be going to their wedding. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go. And depression is just like, nope, I'm not going to do it because it's a no kid wedding, everything like that. But apparently I'm being forced to go. I'm being told that I need to get out and go do that, which I know I do, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to really be there. But it's my cousin. I love my cousin, so I said I'll go and support. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. But even down to doing stuff like this whole video, I've had no viewers, and yet I posted this, retweeted this also on Twitter, or shared it on Twitter, and I've had nobody. But I gotta keep going. I can't just allow something like that to be negative and keep me from doing what it is that I like to do. So, but I'm going to go now and figure out something else to do, something fun to do. Gotta go check on my kiddos because they were napping. So, I love you guys. Be bold, be brave, and have a good day.